Hurricanes, what's going on? My name is Cam Underwood. Welcome back to the channel here, talking Miami Hurricanes all the time, with a nicely, freshly shaved head for y'all boys. So got the aesthetics going for you. But today we're actually going to hop into my favorite world, which is the wonderful world of recruiting. This is the thing that started me in the world of content creation. Like, I'm a person who literally has, going back into like NCAA 08, 09, and even previous, like I would always keep either handwritten lists of recruits or spreadsheets. I got Google Sheets for my current NCAA 25 save with San Diego State going on before I finally jump into a Miami Hurricanes save because I was waiting for some of the patches and things to come out. But anyways, I say all of that to say I love recruiting. It is the lifeblood of the sport. Like, roster construction in general it's fascinating to me because you cannot just vaporize a championship. Like, you have to build a team that is capable of winning championships. This really, like, my whole entire life has been a thing that I've focused on, growing up in Detroit with the Detroit Tigers, with the Detroit Pistons, and on and on and on. Now that you know all of that about me, let me get back to the lecture at hand. On Monday, the Miami Hurricanes started spring practice. There's going to be another video about that. Be sure you check that out. But at that practice, there were many, many, many big-time recruits in this current class, being the 2026 class, and future classes as well, who were on hand for the first day and, viewed things, got to interact with the coaches, see the whole process and things like that. And one of those players had seen enough to decide that he was going to commit to Miami. So welcome to the U, Ben Congdon from Ohio. He is a offensive lineman. He plays both ways in high school, but this is a kid that Miami's been after for a long time, very strongly. There are plenty of pictures up on social media of like Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal being on site at his school in Ohio for visits, and he finally made his way down south to Miami on an unofficial. So this is where he and his family on spring break said, we're going to take a couple day trip to Miami, just as the family, but also integral to that is making their way over to Coral Gables, and so for those of y'all who don't know, like, Miami International Airport is right on 42nd. You take 42nd into the Gables, zoom, 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 couple back streets, you're right there. You know what I mean? So I know you got to get south on Lejeune, which is its own beast because Miami International Airport is a monster. But obviously made that happen, was here, going around, took, pictures on campus, did Ben Congdon, and then, just tweeted out like, yeah, really enjoying my time here. And then later on in the evening, after meeting with the coaches, he finally gave his commitment. Where does that leave Miami? Well, actually, sorry, before I get to where that leaves Miami, let's drill down on Ben Congdon, okay? 6'8", 285 pounds. Hello. Like, that is the kind of body that you need on the offensive line. They are rare to find, and one with the the movement skills and like strength of a Ben Congdon is even rarer to find. So being able to go and get him is a huge win. Going into the state of Ohio, deep into Big Ten territory, and getting him, also a major win. So this is proof positive that Miami can and will go wherever they need to get the players that they believe that they need to build a championship kind of team. Who else was after Ben Congdon? I'm sure that you're wondering. The leading team, the top contender against Miami for Ben Congdon was Penn State, a team that made it to the college football playoff, that routinely has guys going into the first round of the draft, especially from offensive line, where they have a history of growth and development of their players and things like that. So you're going head to head against Penn State. And then there were other teams around, there were the Minnesotas, the Wisconsins, another team that is well known for their development of offensive linemen, who really wanted Ben Congdon. But it was really Miami in the lead, Penn State pushing from that second spot, but Miami locking down Ben Congdon. This is a guy who also is I don't know if he's won championships, but he's a very accomplished wrestler as well. So I know that there are a lot of offensive linemen who have wrestling as a background for strength, for balance, for dealing with an opponent who's moving in a variety of different ways and being able to hold and control that player and their movement, and that translates directly onto the football field. I know that there's many, many, many instances of that where you can look it up. But if you have a solid wrestling background, right, which allows you to ground yourself and in all these different ways move and control another large human being, because if you're 6'8", 285, you're wrestling heavyweight. You're not wrestling somebody who's 120 pounds. You're wrestling in somebody who's 245 pounds or higher, right? So you're a similar body type. But when you're 6'8", 285, you're also bigger than everybody. But a similar kind of a body type. And Ben Congdon is a very well-renowned wrestler as well. So you add that to his profile, and then this is just a kid who can just maul you on the field. I think Ben Congdon projects as a right tackle or a gigantic guard, a la like Mekhi Becton for the Philadelphia Eagles, who was a left tackle in college at Louisville, goes to the league, can't really hoop at left tackle, and then leaves the Jets, and the Eagles are like, "You're a massive person. Let's just put you somewhere and let you go maul." I think that is Ben Congdon. I think he's a little bit more advanced as a run blocker than a pass blocker right now, and that's okay. I don't think that he's a day one plug and play. I think that he needs like a mango season, maybe two, to grow into his technique at this level. And I think that's a reason why he picked Miami, because Miami, with Mirabal and Cristobal, their track record of developing offensive line talent is elite. And so when you're projecting out your career saying, okay, I have this good foundation, I'm a really great wrestler, I'm bigger than everybody at the high school level, and he doesn't even play in like a big time program or like in a big time division in Ohio. So like there's going to be a little bit of a leveling when he gets to college, because he's head and shoulders above everybody he's playing. Now, if he were at like a Massillon, Washington, or if I translate that to South Florida, if he was at St. Thomas Aquinas, American Heritage, Chaminade, Central, Northwestern, where you're playing those kind of teams every week, then the gap is lower, or the transition is maybe a little bit mitigated when you step up to college, because you're playing elite high school competition, whereas Ben Congdon is not necessarily doing that. So might need a season, maybe two, to grow into his role, the grown man strength, and just find out where his footing is on the offensive line. But this is a blue chip guy. I believe he's a 4-star on 247 and on 3. I think Rivals has him as a 3-star. I think that'll get revised. He really took a big leap between his sophomore and junior year, did Congdon. And I'm excited to see, with continued just development as like of his body, what he delivers on the field as a senior. So I've talked a lot about Ben Congdon, where he comes from, what his profile is. I'm going to show you Ben Congdon now. So I need to go over here and share that screen. Cool. So we have his huddle. I'm going to take it back to the beginning because I was already watching it. And here we go. You see him at left tackle here, bang, at the second level. Let's look at that one again. He's going to come down inside here. I think it's this second linebacker, GG's little boy. Good night. Like, okay. I think he's at left tackle again here, and then curls back inside. That's his pancake in the middle there. Cool. He's at left tackle again here. Oh, just sit down. I mean, that's not necessarily what you would teach on every rep for pass pro, but when you have the defensive end eating dirt, can you really complain? I missed where he was on that one. He's at right tackle here, which is where I believe he fits at the next level. Sealing up to the second, third level. And just look at him compared to these other guys. He's 58, if you couldn't tell. He's just way, 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 way bigger. I missed it, but look at him. Internet, see, this is now going to be problematic for me. I guess I'm going to have to stop sharing. Oh, and of course, it starts right up as soon as I stop sharing the screen. I'm going to put it back, and we're going to look at a um, couple more plays from Congdon's highlights. If I take it back, he's at right tackle on this play. And this guy just goes for a ride. Oh, and the running back runs right behind that, and I believe almost scores. Yeah, he gets down to the 25. Left tackle on this play. Out of bounds. See ya. Bye. This is him on defense because he does play both ways, as do a lot of guys who are his size at the high school level, because you don't find guys to play, inside on defense and at tackle on offense. He has the profile to be able to do both. And this is from his junior year. He's playing, just look at him overrun this guy and then make the tackle for loss. Left tackle on this play, right there, sit down. So, is he a perfect prospect? No, he's not. Does he do a lot of things that you like? Yes. Does he play with a mean streak? You saw it. I mean, especially you have a 5'10", 170-pound linebacker, and that monster is coming to the second level, and he flattens him. Like the first pass block rep where he just clubs the defensive lineman and then, puts his face in the dirt. That's the kind of player that we need. He has the physical profile that we're looking for. Believe for a right tackle, maybe at a guard. I mean, maybe try him at left tackle, but there are other targets. Jackson Cantwell from Nixon, Missouri, the number one player in America, who's like 6'8", 300 pounds at left tackle. You maybe prefer him to stay there as opposed to moving Ben Congdon around. But by any stretch of the imagination, by any metric, this is a good get for Miami. This is a nice step forward for the Canes. Ben Congdon is the fourth commit in this class, joining three others. I've written about him and individually on his Welcome to the U, but all four of them on stateoftheu.com, where over here you can find all of the stuff that I write. Thanks for tuning in here. Excuse me, going to be doing more of these, breakdowns when we get commits and things like that. Might bring on some of your favorite recruiting writers, in addition to myself, to break these guys down. But Ben Congdon has decided that he wants to be a Miami Hurricane. Fourth commit in the 2026 class. He's a good player. Miami is at about the number 24 overall class in America as we stand here on March the 4th when I'm recording this, but we will continue to move forward. There's been plenty of other guys down. There's plenty of other visits ongoing. Hopefully we get more commits. But right now we're going to celebrate this one. Welcome, Ben, to the U, and I will check you guys next time with more from the Miami Hurricanes.